We have been lied to, quietly, relentlessly, convincingly lied to. They told us resilience is a bottomless well, an endless fire, a muscle that only grows when you keep ripping it apart. They made us believe that the more exhausted we are, the stronger we must be. That running on empty is noble, that sleep is for the weak, boundaries are for the selfish, and burnout is just the price of caring, and millions of us swallowed that lie whole. We wore our fatigue like medals. We bragged about 70-hour weeks and 4 hours of sleep. We called it dedication, we called it hustle, we called it strength. It was none of those things. It was slow suicide disguised as ambition. We operate under a dangerous, pervasive illusion, the belief that our well of strength is bottomless. We treat resilience not as a precious resource, but as a magic trick, a force we can summon instantly, fully formed, the moment we desperately need it. We push harder, take on more, and constantly drain our internal batteries, assuring ourselves that when the real challenge comes, the necessary reserves will simply materialize. Resilience is not magic, it is fuel. It is finite, it is perishable, and if you wait for the emergency to check the gauge, you have already lost the battle. Every day you treat it like it's free and limitless. You move one step closer to the moment when a challenge that should have been ordinary drops you to your knees. Not because the challenge was too big, but because you arrived at it already hollow. You do not break from the weight of one giant storm. You break from the 1,000 tiny leaks you never bothered to seal. Every emotion you swallowed, every yes you gave when your soul was screaming no. Every night you chose the screen over sleep. Every morning you woke up already tired and called it normal. Those are not small things. They are slow cracks in the foundation of who you are. And one day, the ground opens up and you fall straight through, wondering how something so strong could collapse so fast. The strongest people alive are not the ones who never rest. They are the ones who never negotiate with their recovery. They treat their energy like the rarest currency on earth because it is. They say no when others say yes just to look busy. They walk away when others keep grinding to prove something. They disappear into silence, into sleep, into nature, into real conversation, into prayer, into whatever actually refills them. And they do it without apology. They understand the secret no one wants to admit. The storm is coming whether you like it or not. The only question is whether you will meet it running on fumes or standing on full. You cannot borrow strength in the middle of the battle. You cannot suddenly manufacture clarity when the sky falls. You cannot fake depth when everything shallow has been stripped away. The reserves you need tomorrow have to be built today, while it's quiet, while you still have the luxury of time. While the sun is still shining and the phone isn't ringing off the hook and the worst thing that happened today was traffic. This is the moment, not later, now. Mental margin is not empty space on your calendar. It is the space where genius and calm and courage are born. A mind that never stops spinning cannot see the way forward. Give it silence, give it boredom. Give it long walks and books and music and nights with no screens. Give it the discipline to be still long enough for the dust to settle and the answers to rise. That blank space is not wasted time. It is the forge where unbreakable focus is made. Emotional depth is not weakness. It is the hidden armor most people never build. Invest in the handful of people who know the real you and love you anyway. Speak the unspeakable things, cry the tears you've been saving for someday. Let yourself be seen before life forces you to be seen in pieces. Those relationships are not nice-to-haves, they are the shock absorbers for every crash you cannot predict. Physical discipline is not vanity. It is the non-negotiable foundation of everything else. Sleep is not a luxury. Movement is not optional. Fuel is not whatever is fast and easy. Your body is the only vessel you get for this entire ride. Treat it like something sacred, because it is. A depleted body drags the mind and heart down with it every single time. Having established that resilience is a fuel source, our next critical step is defining exactly what those reserves are and how we quantify them. They are not merely vague feelings of grit. They are tangible assets that determine your capacity to sustain performance when everything is demanding your immediate attention. We must think beyond simple physical exhaustion, because the deepest reserves are found in your mental clarity, your emotional regulation, and the deep, anchoring sense of purpose that guides your decisions. These are the three pillars upon which true, sustainable reserves are built, and they must be intentionally replenished. The first pillar is mental margin. Most people mistakenly believe that their mind functions best under continuous strain. In reality, a mind perpetually preoccupied with problem-solving, deadlines, and notifications loses its elasticity and its capacity for creative thought. Mental margin is the dedicated, non-negotiable time you carve out away from the demands of your work. It is the blank space on the calendar, the unread book in your hands, the walk you take without a device. By stepping away and allowing the mind to rest, you are giving the brain's networks the space to process, reorganize, and achieve breakthroughs that pressure inhibits. The second pillar is emotional depth. Your emotional reserves are the relational safety net that catches you when the inevitable turbulence strikes. Emotional depth is built through the cultivation of strong, authentic relationships where you can be vulnerable without fear of judgment. It is about investing time in the people who genuinely support and believe in your growth. When you face a setback, your ability to regulate stress and see a path forward is directly proportional to the strength of your community. These deep bonds are the shock absorbers for life's unexpected jolts. The third pillar is physical discipline. This pillar is often the most neglected, but is foundational to the others. The capacity of your mind and the stability of your emotions are inextricably linked to the biology of your body. Your reserves are maintained through non-negotiable investment in sleep, high-quality nutrition, and consistent movement. Treating sleep as an expendable luxury is to consciously sabotage your cognitive function and emotional control. When you are physically depleted, the smallest stressors feel insurmountable. This discipline is not about achieving peak physical fitness. It's about providing the necessary raw materials, rest and energy, to ensure your brain and body can handle the demands placed upon them. The moment we grasp that resilience is finite, we must commit to the discipline of strategic withdrawal. This concept flies directly in the face of the prevailing cultural myth, the toxic belief that success requires constant, visible struggle. True mastery is not found in perpetual motion, but in the intelligent, strategic deployment and conservation of energy. Strategic withdrawal is the conscious, courageous choice to pull back when others are pushing past their capacity. Saying no is not rude, it is reverence for what actually matters. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to your ability to recover and replenish. Deliberate recovery, not passive rest, involves activities that genuinely recharge your soul and reset your cognitive functions. These activities restore the cognitive and emotional elasticity required for high-level performance. You return to the challenge not just rested, but renewed, armed with exponentially greater focus, clarity, and power than the person who never allowed themselves to truly stop. The greatest error we make in pursuing resilience is focusing entirely on the outer facade, the visible achievements, the titles, the material successes. We spend enormous energy polishing the exterior while neglecting the internal structure that actually bears the load. Just as a skyscraper is defined not by its glass exterior, but by the steel girders buried deep underground, your outer success will always be a mirror of your inner state. This fortification process is built through consistent, disciplined practices in the everyday, often mundane moments. What are you consuming? Not just food, but information, media, and conversation. Who are you spending your most valuable time with? What habits are you repeating that subtly shape the pathways of your mind and the biology of your body? These daily decisions are the girders and beams of your internal structure. We now arrive at the ultimate objective, to become the source of your own strength. The promise of building reserves is not that you will eliminate challenges. The promise is that you will fundamentally change how you experience them. When you face adversity with reserves intact, you move from responding with reactive panic to acting with thoughtful power and wisdom. You don't just endure the crisis, you learn from it, adapt to it, and emerge stronger. The storm still happens, but you have become the harbor. The time to act on this realization is right now. You cannot afford to postpone the work of building your reserves until tomorrow, because tomorrow is the time you may need to spend them. Begin building the margins, establish the disciplined practices, and fortify the character that will be required to meet the challenges that are currently unseen. When that moment of pressure finally arrives, you will find a quiet, deep conviction settling in, a profound gratitude for the deliberate choices you made in the quiet, easy times. The storm does not ask if you are ready. It does not care how tough you pretend to be. It only reveals how full you actually are. So fill up, right now, while you still can. Say the hard no, take the long sleep, speak the buried truth. Go where it's quiet and stay there until you remember who you are underneath all the noise. Do the small, boring, daily things that feel like nothing in the moment and everything when the moment finally arrives. Because when that wave hits, and it is coming, you will not beg it for mercy. You will not scramble for footing. You will stand in the middle of it, feet planted, heart steady, eyes clear, and you will move through it carrying the strength you built on every single day you refuse to run yourself empty. Resilience isn't infinite, but the strength you choose to build before the storm, that can be. Start today. Start right now. The rest of your life is waiting to see what you decide to carry into it. Carry fullness. Carry fire that never goes out because you finally learned how to feed it. Carry the quiet, unshakable certainty that comes from knowing, whatever comes, you are ready, not because nothing can touch you, but because you finally stopped letting it drain you before it even arrived.